Hey, welcome back to Downtime, everyone. There's been some time that I took off. I apologize. We are back to dropping bi-weekly NBA content on this channel. So like, subscribe, do all this stuff. I can't force you, but if you like these videos, more content is coming. Send it to your friends. Let's have some conversations. As always, I'm going to talk about the stuff that I've been watching in the NBA. I'm never going to give my opinion on things that I'm not paying attention to. So let's get into it. As you see in the thumbnail, this video is going to be about the top 3 teams in the West and the East. And we are going to be talking about their legitimate chances of making the finals and winning the finals based strictly off of my opinions. But before that, just want to kind of recap what's been going on between the last video we dropped about NBA referees and all of that going around the NBA. But we had the All-Star game. We had some crazy games that went on between now and then. We had some trade rumors that have come up. The trade deadline's on the way. And this is just a little bit that I want to touch on in between now and before we jump into the main content. All-Star game, I would say, I don't know. I was watching my guy Kenny Beecham's channel. Kenny, I'll tag it here and put it in the description. But he was talking about the All-Star game. Was it a bust? Was it a W? Was it just kind of like, meh? And honestly, I find myself there, like in the middle, like, meh. It wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, that was horrible TV. And it wasn't like last year's All-Star game by any means. But I would say three-point shootout was nuts. Steph Curry that was an all-time performance on the three-point shootout, like Larry Bird-esque type of performance. The dunk contest, that was an L. But the All-Star game in general was pretty cool. We saw some guards throw down. Chris Paul caught that lob, which was crazy. Steph Curry's dunking. We had some really cool stuff happen in that game. Dame Lil was shooting lights out. The game winner was crazy. All in all, the All-Star game itself between the Team LeBron and Team KD was really fun to watch. I'm still mad that they robbed my boy DeMar DeRozan of that All-Star appearance, but hey, shout out Mike Conley. Slap that All-Star appearance on your resume. Good for you, brother. But let's jump into what we were talking about today. Let's talk about firstly the Eastern Conference. We got the 76ers, the 1 seed, with a 27-12 record. We got Brooklyn coming in 2 seed with 27-13, and Milwaukee coming in with 25-14. I'm really excited to talk about the Bucks, but before we get to those teams, let's talk about the West. We've got the Utah Jazz at 28-10 with the 1st seed, Phoenix with 26-12 with the 2nd seed, and the Lakers having an interesting season at 26-13. But let's jump back over to the East. Let's talk about the 1 seed, the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers fans, inhale, exhale. Joel Embiid is going to be okay. That was scary. Anytime a star player, but more importantly, Embiid's the front runner for the MVP. And I even think so, like, with this injury, because he's going to come back on the court. I know he's going to play crazy. I've been seeing quotes about him like, I don't take disrespect, I'm the one who dishes it. Like, he's going to be okay. But Sixers fans, breathe. Your MVP candidate is still going to come back. He's still going to hoop like crazy. I still want to, like, Ben Simmons. I know you got some hate from that one dude. It was an announcer for, I don't remember the team, but he said that you were the most overrated NBA player. That's a bunch of crap. One, like, these are the dudes that are paying to do this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, be better. But Ben Simmons, like, there's just this potential in you, and I don't even know how old you are. Like, all the rookie of the year jokes, I don't know, are those still a thing? But there's so much potential in Ben Simmons. And I love what Greg Popovich said. He said, he's so damn good, who cares if he can shoot? And I agree 100%. Ben Simmons is one of those dudes that if he has 0 points at the end of the night, he still had an insane impact for your team. So listen, I'm not doing like a percentage scale on these legitimacy things with the finals, but the 76ers are the real deal. And I think that it's going to take a good team, probably the Nets, to keep them from playing in the finals. But so with that, let's talk about Brooklyn. James Harden is having, like, we don't even want to talk about how good his season has been. Like, it is 100% an MVP type season. The dude is playing like crazy. I follow Chris Brickley, shout out Chris Brickley on Instagram, and today he posted a video of James Harden just shooting these like smooth as butter threes. And his caption was talking about, like, if you don't think James Harden is MVP this season, you're a hater. And I agree. James Harden is having the MVP season. He is playing like crazy. And if you didn't know this, Brook Lopez is the all-time leading scorer in Brooklyn Nets history. And I think James Harden is going to be it in no time. Like, he is playing crazy. Kyrie's playing with a chip on his shoulder. It's crazy to think that they don't have Kevin Durant. And I don't even want to talk about Blake Griffin joining. What kind of impact does that make? He said something like he's going to start dunking again. Bro, the Nets are terrifying. The Nets are like the Infinity Stones put into a team, and Steve frickin' Nash is their coach. So the legitimacy of the Brooklyn Nets is like through the roof, and we all know it. They're the team to beat. They're this year's Clippers. It's going to be really, really interesting to watch how they perform in the playoffs and if they even make it to the finals. So jump down to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are they, like, when do we start talking about, like, Giannis not performing up to what he should be doing? You know what I mean? Because the past couple of seasons, the Bucks have been the 1-2 seed of the East, and every year they disappoint. So is this like the same thing? Because they're the 3rd seed in the East, they're 4 games above the 4th seed, and Giannis is playing amazing, but is it just a regular season thing? Listen, I don't know, man. I'm not watching many Bucks games. Bucks fans, don't come at me. I just want to know, what is it? You know, you got Chris Middleton, you've got Holiday now, who's playing really good for y'all, and then Giannis is coming out and having a great season again. Can you pull together a playoff run? I don't know. I'll have to see it to believe it, but I'm not a hater. Like, I want to see the Bucks do good. I want to see the East, like, top 4 teams, like, be really good to the point to where, like, it's fun basketball. Like, I want to see 4 Game 7s. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's jump to the West. Oh, legitimacy of the Bucks is everything I just said. I don't know. Big fat question mark. You know what I mean? But speaking of big fat question mark, the number 1 seed in the West, the Utah Jazz, who have just been getting disrespected lately, man. LeBron with the comments with the All-Star draft, like, nobody wants to talk about the Jazz, and I think it's true. Like, the Utah Jazz are 2 games up from the 1 seed to the Phoenix Suns. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But they are playing really good basketball. Rudy Gobert's playing really well. Donovan Mitchell's playing really well. Jordan Clarkson's playing amazing. But all in all, are they legit? You tell me. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to hate on the Jazz. I'm not trying to jump on the make fun of them bandwagon. But it just doesn't feel legit. You know what I mean? And the Phoenix freaking Suns, man. This guy. I love this team. They are playing so freaking good. Chris Paul, I don't care what you think. He is an MVP conversation. Bite me on it. He has made this team, again, we know, bubble record was crazy. Devin Booker's amazing. But Chris Paul is playing out of his freaking mind, y'all. The Suns are legit. I think they're a scary team to play when they're healthy. DeAndre Ayton, if he stays aggressive, he's a paint beast. It's going to be a fun team to watch in the playoffs. And the 3rd seed coming in is a LeBron James-led, Anthony Davis Lakers team that have seemed very vulnerable, for lack of a better word. But all in all, it's LeBron James. If you're a betting man, do not bet against him. We will see what happens. We'll see how he plays. The Lakers are legit. If Anthony Davis is healthy in the playoffs, I don't know. You don't want to play against that team. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, those are the top 3 teams in the East and the West. The other thing I wanted to talk about, though, and I think this is going to be my sound clip for Instagram, I have noticed that, like, in decade spans, the NBA Finals have been won by, like, a handful of teams, right? Like, there's always 2 or 3 teams every decade that, like, go to the finals. Like, Lakers and Spurs, the 90s, the Bulls, the Jazz, I guess, Then you go back to the 80s and you got the Celtics and the Lakers, and then go back again, you've still the Celtics and the Lakers. But one thing I think is really interesting to talk about is from 2020 to 2030, is it going to be another dynasty? Or are we going to see the NBA in probably the first time ever have more than like 6 different NBA champions? I think that's something that nobody's talking about, and I think is really curious to think about, because we got so many of these legends that are retiring, that are getting old. These dynasties are like starting to roll themselves out. But how many different teams can we see win the chip in the next 10 years? And I think it's really interesting to have this conversation. So y'all let me know what you think. Is there dynasties going to happen? Or is there going to be just multiple different teams that are just scrapping it out throughout the decade? I don't know what y'all think, but the next 10 years going down the line is going to be really fun basketball. And I know what people are saying about the NBA and its evolving game, but it's still fun, man. And I'm really excited to see where the game goes. I'm really excited to see how this season wraps up in itself. But hey, I'm Jacoby Bly. This is Dime Time. Like, subscribe, comment what you think below.